You see that black boy over there running scared, his old man in a bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5, he drink full time, and now he's living in a bottle. See that black boy over there running scared, his old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. He done pawned off damn near everything, his old woman a wedding ring for a bottle. And don't you think it's a crime when time after time after time people in a bottle, there's people living in a bottle. Listen to me, see that sister, her shirt was fine, oh, she's finally drinking wine from the bottle. She told me, the old man committed a crime, he's doing time, now she's hanging in a bottle. I seen her out there on the avenue all by herself, and sure need help from the bottle. I seen her, preacher man tried to help her out, she cussed him out and hit him in the head with the bottle. They turned to me, they asked me, Gil, now, don't you think it's a crime? No way. And time after time after time, people in the bottle, there's people showing up in the bottle. Give another good example.
KBLA Talk 1580, getting our Gil Scott-Heron on. We're going to be doing this all hour. What a great way to do Friday. What a great way to do a beautiful day here in LA, broadcasting from Leimert Park. And I'm super excited to be joined in the studio by two beautiful, powerful ladies. Lynn Connor is an actor, director, producer, filmmaker, right off a off-Broadway run with an award-winning play, Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology. She produced it. She developed it from vision to stage, along with her sister. And we'll hear a lot more about that. Lynn Connor, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming in. And we're also joined by a poetess, a rapper, a singer, a host. And she is... She's been doing poetry and writing songs since the age of 10. Started doing poetry full time after graduating with honors from Pitzer College. And she is also she's a part of this presentation. And, of course, the daughter of legendary artist Gil Scott-Heron, Gia Scott-Heron. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Good morning.
So nice to meet you both. So we'll start with, Bluesology. Lynn Connor, what made you think this was a good idea?
Well, actually, it's the brainchild of my sister, Tuesday Connor. She's the executive producer. And she wanted to honor poets. And
she wanted to honor different literary heroes. She'd done Langston Hughes and Nikki Giovanni, and then she wanted my dad to be a part of the series, and she reached out to me. And parallel to that, I was working on my own tribute to my father called Be the Revolution, and had just worked with a producer to try to come up with a different instrumentation and melodies to some of my dad's greatest songs, like The Bottle, Winter in America, Johannesburg. And so the timing was it was so kismet. It was so perfect. And so when she said, hey, can we do a tribute to your dad? And can you participate and be a part of it? I'm like, sure. I was like, only problem is I'm about to hit the road, sis. So we had to coordinate it in a way that would allow us to do a show here prior to my departure. And so we finally, it was already February. And I was due to leave in April, so we finally settled on March 28th. And it was supposed to be just a one-off, one-time only celebratory, send-off and thank you and celebration to my dad. And it sold out, first of all. And from there was such an outcry. So many people that missed it and heard about it from the people that went were like, well, where's my chance to see it? I want to see it too. I want to go. I want to go to the show. They were feeling so much FOMO. They felt like they'd missed out on so much. So we brought it back later that year. And then we just kept having to do. It was never enough. It was never enough. We kept having to do another one.
You stepped into a creative ancestral landmine and
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and set it off. So, you're a poet, and I was talking to a friend about this yesterday as whatever you want to call it, children of the movement. I think you call us legacy kids.
yeah.
My dad, of course, is
Daughters
a great
of the
poet.
Revolution.
Daughters of the Revolution.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I always for many years when I was younger, I was scared to write anything because I figured I'd be measured against my father and my mother, who's also Diane DiPrima, also a poet. So I just was like, I just won't say anything.
Right.
But
I
for
felt
you
that
to
same
step up as a
trepidation,
poet,
honey.
really, you did?
Oh yeah. When I first entered the poetry scene, when you sign the open mic list to let them know whether or not you intend to perform, I would just write Miss Gia. I left the last name out every time with intention. I did not want anyone to compare me to my dad or build up any kind of expectation or hype based on their feelings about my dad. So I just wanted to be judged individually, separate from that. So I totally understand.
I think that's why one of the reasons why the hip hop world was so appealing to me, because most people didn't know who my dad or mom was and didn't care.
That didn't save me because my dad was considered the godfather of rap. So many rappers had sampled my dad.
Right.
Yeah, either
Right.
space I stepped into, as soon as anyone breathed my last name.
And you look like him.
Right, that didn't help either.
Doesn't help. We took their whole faces.
Sure did.
And the body.
And the body shape
Yeah.
for me and the tall. There's no place for me to
But
hide.
apparently you surrendered at some point, or you wouldn't be doing this tribute, Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology, because now it's Miss Gia and Gia Scott-Heron are AKAs, and people know it's out. The word is out.
Right, the secret's out.
So at what
Cat's
point,
out of
how
the
did you
bag.
get to that? To like, okay, I'm good with this.
Well, I had to be good with it. The problem was there were poets that had known me. There was a poetry venue that was near my college. And so one of the poets that I hung with early on after I graduated from Pitzer College, shouts out to Pomona and the Claremont colleges, shout out to Best Kept, Mike and Dim Lights Poetry. He kind of let the cat out of the bag. They're like, oh yeah, no, that's Gia Scott-Heron. And so he didn't think anything of it. He wasn't like trying to be shady or anything. He's like, oh no, that's Gia Scott-Heron. That's Gil Scott-Heron's daughter. And that was, how news travels. And so it just like wildfire. So the next thing I know, I'm going to poetry readings and I'm hearing, no, Miss Gia, that's actually Gil Scott-Heron's daughter. So then when I'm hearing that, I'm like, oh man, everybody knows. So I'm just like, then I just started writing my whole name. One person added when I put Miss Gia, he wrote Scott-Heron, but he did it with 1 T and 2 R's. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it myself since everybody knows. I'd rather have it spelled correctly and have the record set by me, if anyone. So I just said, fine. You know what? I'll embrace it. Can't fight the feeling. Might as well go with it.
Right.
I'm so glad you did.
I mean, look.
I'm glad to.
The poet
In
Ellen. I
retrospect.
used to do that too. I used to be just being Dominique or be, just morphing. If I'm in a black space, it's DiPrima. If I'm in a white space, it's Baraka. Right.
Yeah.
But Allen Ginsberg, the poet, said to me, "Look, your parents ain't gonna leave you no whole bunch of money. This is your inheritance. It's all you're getting. So you might as well go with it." I was like, he's got a point.
Use that name.
That changed my perspective a bit.
Yeah, right.
You may not get $1 million, but you got,
a $1 million name.
right. And the DNA, because I'm sure the
Yes.
poetry, is in the DNA. Were you shocked by the overwhelming sort of avalanche of support? Because a play is not always an easy sell.
It's not easy. I wasn't shocked. I was pleasantly surprised because I've been in theater since I was a teenager. And so when we hit this gold mine, it was just so fun to work on it from the beginning and develop it. And as she shared stories and anecdotes about her and her dad, it helped weave the poetry and the songs together because either she had these live experiences with him. And so it just kept growing and we just kept finding little nuggets of gold.
That was what was so great about working with Lynn and all my colleagues and friends, including Tuesday. I've known Tuesday since like 2015. I mean, I knew her before, but we became close like starting in 2015 and hanging out and going places together. And I'm like, this chick is a great hang. Like, this is a homie right here. This is big sis. And so when we started rehearsing, I didn't feel like any hesitancy or reluctance to like share. I'd be like, you know what? I remember when my dad told me this, or you know what? My mom told me, blah, 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 while we're rehearsing. And Lynn would be like, that goes in the show. Put that in the show. And then we just figured out where in the show it should go. And it was, so it makes it very unique in a way. It very much sets it apart. I've been part of tributes dedicated to my dad. I've been blessed since he passed away. I've been in at least, 3 dozen or more tributes across the country. Oh, yeah. Big love for my dad. I'm so grateful that so many people cared enough about him and what he had to say, and that he impacted their lives in such a way that they felt almost compelled. Like, so many people said, I had to do it. Like,
right.
It wasn't nobody else going to do it. I just took it upon myself, and I'm so glad you're joining us. I'm like, I'm so glad you did this, but I never actually said, oh, you know what? My dad was actually shadowed by the FBI for a number of years. I read the report. And they'd be like, but my friends are like, really? They're like, that needs to go in the show. People need to know about that. People need to know it was sacrificed. People need to know that freedom of speech ain't always free. So
in fact, it's almost never free.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we're talking with Gia Scott-Heron and Lynn Connor, the plays Bluesology, and actually, you'll get a chance to go. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about your poetry. We'll talk about the person you're tributing. We got time, and we got a lot to talk about. We are also taking your calls if you want to get in on it. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
A junkie walk
KBLA Talk 1580, paying tribute to Gil Scott-Heron with the folks that are really, really doing it. Lynn Connor and Gia Scott-Heron. They're part of Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology. The revolution will not be televised. This is happening right now, actually, here in Southern California. Inner City Cultural Center 2, in collaboration with the Mark Theater. They are here. You can see the show April 12th, April 13th, April 18th, April 19th, April 20th. Don't sleep. I'm pretty sure that Lynn and Gia do not want to hear you crying if you miss this time.
That's
like
right.
y'all were crying last time.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So this is on now. This is it's at 5144 Lankershim Boulevard in North Hollywood. And I'm going to read this because it sounds exciting. It's Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology, a fierce band of spoken word artists, including the legend's daughter, Gia Scott-Heron. They are spitting fire and blazing stages on a worldwide tour with special guest artists, Father Amdi Hamilton of the Watts Prophets and Victor Orlando of the Gap Band. Sounds like a good time.
Oh, it's such a party. It's so much fun.
It is. And with the shakers.
Exactly.
Okay, so you guys brought me a shaker. It says Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology. Mm-hmm. So you're giving your audience percussion?
We are.
Yeah, we're giving them an opportunity to be part of the show.
They're part of the show.
Yeah.
They love
Amazing.
it. They go crazy. It started off as a marketing tool, but then we gave it to our audience, and they were like, just got so into it.
Yeah. They started
From
using
here
it
to
as a show
from
of
here to New York.
appreciation.
Yes.
Right.
From here to New York, they are in love with the shaker, honey.
Yeah, it took the place of applause and the snapping of their fingers. They just got their shakers out and shake, shake, shake.
So
shake,
you
shake.
basically turned the play into a jam session.
Pretty much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
When we were talking during News Traffic Sports, and you said you've been part of more than a dozen tributes to your dad?
Oh, yeah. At least, about 3 dozen.
People really are in there for 3 dozen.
Yeah, well, because it's been a lot of years. He passed in 2011.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been blessed. A lot of people have a lot of love for my dad, and when they found out about me, they were like, oh. And they would reach out to me, and if I was available, I was more than happy to participate and attend and rock out with
people
them.
have strong feelings about your dad, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Poets, rappers, politicians. I can only imagine.
Social workers,
Black,
teachers.
white.
Social.
Everybody has a story, honey. He was my professor. I played with him. I produced him. I hired him. I went to see him, and I saw him at a party.
Right.
I was his lover.
Right.
We get the gamut of the story, honey. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
at
got
14
me through my divorce. He's
Yes.
responsible for my marriage. He got me through my prison sentence. He got me through my addiction. He inspired me to become a teacher. He inspired me to go into social work. There's so many people that have
touched
so
and moved by him.
And I'm so grateful for that. It's humbling to know that my dad had such an impact.
Yeah. And we were also talking off mic about because I talk about this with my friend Miss Shabazz, is paying tribute to your mama too. Your mama is also iconic. She's still with us.
That's right.
She's an actress and
Brenda
a successful
Sykes.
one at that.
That's right. She was really big during the blaxploitation era of film and television. When she had me, she decided to do an early retirement from the industry, and went into writing and motherhood, and then got remarried to my stepdad, Paul Hudson, who was the CEO of Broadway Federal Bank. It was the first black-owned bank to be opened in Los Angeles back in 1949.
I have an account there.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your patronage and your support. Because, a lot of, back then, black people couldn't get loans for opening homes and businesses. And that was a need that needed to be fulfilled. And so from the financial sector, they stepped in to fill
And just,
that gap.
little trivia for those who love stuff like that. Your mom played Mandy
That's right.
On Good Time.
That's right.
Yeah.
As JJ's girlfriend.
Yeah.
But I'd also like Gia to speak a little bit about how cathartic this play and doing it to celebrate her father instead of mourning him. It took a toll on her for a long time.
No doubt.
Where she went inside and it was really upsetting, but this has opened her up so much, and she sees how he's alive, he stays alive, and how it's healed pieces of her. Would you talk about that a little bit?
I will.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's like, I don't want to get like too emotional or whatever, but yeah, like I really credit Tuesday for building this with me and having the vision to create Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology, because it has been so cathartic, and she's given me a piece of my life back, a piece that I made, I forced it to go dormant because there was so much infighting in the years after his passing over the estate. That's quieted down now, thankfully, but yeah, there was so much pain attached, I just put it away, and I would do tributes and I would listen to the songs, but I'd be, backstage kind of humming, but not really singing. It was a hard thing to do for a while. I couldn't, sing along to the songs without getting emotional, but yeah, during the time we've been doing the show, it has really been a healing thing for me. And, I feel like even healing for my dad in a way, wherever he is.
Doubt. So when you hear the music now, what do you feel?
It's bittersweet, but I'm more happy than sad. I'm more grateful than upset. I'm like, well, at least we have so much that he left behind for us to share and celebrate in. Yeah. So why cry over spilled milk if most of the milk is still in the carton? Why be mad about the little bit that's spilt?
Yeah.
Why waste your energy and your time when you can use that energy to be happy for what's been left, to enjoy.
When my dad died, which was 2014, the New York Times said, polarizing poet dies, and people have opinions, and particularly if you're the daughter of someone who had strong political opinions. Is there anything you would want to set straight that people say about Gil Scott-Heron that you think is not right or we should see more of?
I don't know. I think my dad was very good at speaking the truth and letting the facts be known. He wasn't part of the Last Poets. That's a common misconception that people have. They're a great group, and I actually spent time with Abiodun Oyewole of the Last Poets. So, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. I love the Last Poets, and we love them for what they did for the culture and the movement and being proto-rap artists. But, yeah, he wasn't part of their group. That's the one thing that a lot of people
a misconception that folks have. Yeah, I have seen that written. All right, we're going to continue this fascinating conversation. We are talking bluesology, Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology, to be specific. Keeping it going when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports, only right here.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump described a deadly helicopter crash in New York City as terrible. 6 people, including a visiting family from Spain and the pilot, died when the helicopter plunged into the Hudson River. The bodies of 3 children and 3 adults were pulled from the water. New York City officials, including several black officials, are protesting Mayor Eric Adams' order allowing ICE offices at Rikers Island, claiming it violates anti-deportation laws. More than 70% of Americans report being financially stressed, largely due to tariff uncertainty. The CNBC Survey Monkey Poll found that even 30% of those earning over $100,000 a year feel this stress. And a judge ruled that the late DMX's ex-wife, Tashira Simmons, will not receive the rights to his catalog, including copyrights and trademarks. Simmons had sued for 50% ownership, but the estate retains sole ownership. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's time to bring people back into the hiring process. If posting jobs online and screening applicants is failing, turn to the experts, Express Employment Professionals. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. Express blends tech with local support. That's expresspros.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers and Clippers have 2 games left in the regular season beginning tonight. The Lakers are at home against Houston, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Although the Lakers have secured a playoff spot, they need to win their final 2 games to hold on to the number 3 seed. 7:30 tip-off tonight at Crypto.com. The surging Clippers, 16-3 since March 5th, played their final 2 games on the road. They're at Sacramento tonight at 7 at Golden State on Sunday. Very important game for the Clippers in Sacramento. A win helps the Clippers hold on to the number 4 spot and avoid the play-in round. The Dodgers are back home tonight after a 2-4 road trip. They kick off a 6-game homestand against the Cubs. First pitch tonight at 7:10. Patrick Carey is the new men's basketball coach at Grambling State University. Carey replaces Dante Jackson, who left the HBCU school for another HBCU, Alabama A&M. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Hi, I'm Dominique DiPrima, and it's almost time to celebrate KBLA's 4th anniversary, coming up Juneteenth 2025. We'll be marking the achievement with 4 key community events, including a special symposium, luncheon, and brain trust hosted by me entitled The State of Black Women in Los Angeles. Keep it locked here for details on how to join us for this groundbreaking symposium examining the unique challenges, triumphs, and contributions of Black women in Los Angeles in the areas of education, healthcare, community leadership, cultural and political contributions. This public convocation will provide a critical forum to address the specific social, economic, and political realities facing Black women in LA today. We'll go live with a radio broadcast and YouTube live stream, a public discussion, and a private dialogue with some of LA's most impactful women. It's an affirmation of Black women standing at the intersection of race and gender in times of adversity while demonstrating remarkable resilience and leadership. We will listen and we will speak out and be heard, all in service of finding opportunities and solutions. Please plan to join us in celebrating our 4th anniversary by amplifying the voices of Black women. For more on our symposium and 4 events celebrating 4 years on the air, simply stay tuned or keep an eye on KBLA1580.com and help make this Juneteenth more jubilant with all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
You always go out of your way to impress me. Don't you know by now, ain't no need to impress me. I'm impressed every time you smile. When I feel like you mean to smile, 'cause you can be so very beautiful when you are who you are. Every morning when you wake up, you put on a new disguise. How long did you think it would take me to realize? Things you were ain't real. You never tell me just how you feel. Girl, you could be
KBLA Talk 1580. We all need to hear that right about now and in history, in the moment. And I am so honored to have with me in the studio the folks behind this production, which I'm definitely going to find a way to get over there and see it. Lynn Connor is with me, actor, director, producer, filmmaker. Gia Scott-Heron is with me, poet and activist, and singer and event hostess. And this is an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
We all get to have our shakers.
Yeah.
The very prolific Victor Orlando is part of the part of the cast.
Fire.
Yeah.
He really is.
Percussion.
So talented.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Percussionist extraordinaire.
Grammy nominated.
Yes, indeed. And there's other poets.
Yeah.
Each poet. Tuesday, my sister had a band of poets. They'd worked together for many years on different sets, and so each is a performer in their own right. They all have their own shows, but she brought them together to do these tributes to the poets. And it started in March of 2023 for my birthday, Aries season. It's Aries season right now.
Yeah.
Gil was an Aries.
Yep.
Very intellectual, deep thinker. Prolific.
Yeah.
So anyway, the poets include my sister Tuesday, of course, Gia. We have Connie Williams,
Yes.
Artist Mansois,
Yes.
Lorenzo Frank,
Yes. And
Yao Watts, and the Oracle.
Yes.
So all of them are so seasoned. They're international award-winning actors. We just came back from New York. New York was fire, and a saying is they peed on that stage.
That's what
Which means
everyone's
they left their
claiming.
mark.
Yeah. We marked our territory there.
I'm not sure if you could say that on the radio,
Oh,
but
okay.
yes, it sounds like a really just inspiring artistic.
Just an all-around good time.
Fun,
you know?
right?
I had performed with all of these wonderful artists in the past. Connie Williams, Yao Watts, Artist Mansois, The Oracle, Lorenzo Frank. I had performed with all of them in years prior. So it was almost just like such a natural progression
Right.
for
But
us
not
to
all of
be
them
all
at
a part
once.
of-
Not-
Oh, yeah, no, not all together in the same actual event, but we've all been in the same building
Yeah.
together at different times throughout the years.
And
But
you-
poets
cross
normally
paths.
are like comics. They get up there, they spit their words and their feelings, and then they walk off. So now they're working as an ensemble.
Yeah.
Right.
They are a team, a tribe. They meld these poems and these songs, and it's choreographed. We have an amazing director, Phyllis Bailey Brooks, who came on board to help us with the New York show because
Right.
we're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Gil had 17 albums and how many poetry books?
Oh my gosh. Well, he had 3 and then 2 novels. Like he has a huge plethora of material.
very
to
prolific
work,
person.
Yeah, to pull from. So
And you actually performed with him also.
I did. I mean, I opened for him a couple of times, you know, throughout the years. I actually sang with him when I was 12. I sang backup for him on B Movie because his backup female vocalist had not shown up to, you know, make it to the show. So I filled in.
That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of poets, we got Kwamel from Gardena on the phone. Good morning, Kwamel.
Well. I'm saying
Yeah.
the homies are on the air on my birthday. Ain't that
Hey, happy birthday!
Birthday.
Yeah. I'm saying though. I mean, I'm kind of mad Gia wasn't at the show. Thanks, Miles, for coming through though. I'm kind of mad Dominique wasn't at the show.
Oh, I'm kind of
on
mad you
Wednesday.
didn't invite me.
It was on Instagram.
Boo, that's weak.
It was on Wednesday.
Boo, you're in the chat on YouTube and you didn't even invite me.
I was trying.
I wasn't
trying,
going to
but-
yell at you, but since you brought it up.
No, I mean, I do have another one in Pomona coming up, and I do got to see. But no, I've also though Miss Lynn because the Connors, I've known y'all for like 20 some odd years though.
Okay, so
Between
aside from your birthday and your family
Happy birthday,
reunion on the air,
Kwamel, and
Kwamel.
congrats on your new release, bro.
Yeah.
He's a poet as well, for those who don't
And
know,
we
the
are
listeners
LA
out there.
natives, and when you're a native, you know everybody.
Right.
Because you grew up here from, birth. So
Yeah, exactly. To
Hi.
most people. So, hey,
when
Kwamel.
are you coming to the show?
I'm saying I heard where y'all are gonna be, I believe you're going to be at World
The
Stage.
Mark Theater. Well, they're doing a teaser tonight, actually, at Greenway Court. But we open tomorrow, April 12th, at the Mark Theater, which is in North Hollywood on Lankershim.
Yeah,
and we'll
then
be there
we hit
this
the world
weekend.
stage on the 23rd after our run at the Mark, though.
But the Mark is, we need people to show up for us at the Mark.
Yeah,
because
especially
tomorrow,
those who've been complaining that we've been
Well,
showing
yeah.
too much love to other, regions of the country.
well,
It's like we
especially because
started
when we
here.
went to New York, they kept saying, "When are you going to do it in L.A.? When are you going to do it in L.A.?"
Right.
We actually started in Inglewood at the Willie Agee. We went to the Fringe at the Hudson Theater in Hollywood.
right.
Went to New York, and now we're back by
Right.
popular demand
Right.
in North Hollywood.
Right.
So
Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. I'm so excited. One day.
Yes.
It's a lot of work.
But
It
it's
is.
just 2 weekends. So if you're
Only
gonna go,
2
you need to
weekends.
come on and get
Get it
to
right
it.
now.
That's
Next
right.
weekend is the 18th, 19th, and
The
the 20th. But
Yeah, you got a
we're
matinee
3
on the
o'clock,
20th.
so you have plenty of time to go to Easter church because I know everybody
Exactly.
shows up for church on Easter.
If there's only one day they go, it's going to
The
be
one
Easter.
day.
Yeah, right.
And we don't conflict with that. You can still get your Jesus on and get your Gil on. You know what I mean? Fit it all in.
And
All
we know
the
how to
celebration.
party, so we have a
Right.
little nosh and gathering. You get to meet the cast and the
Celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, and then celebrate the resurrection of my daddy's messages and music, honey.
All right, the resurrection of
Yo, yo.
consciousness.
because the
How about
revolution
that?
will not be televised; it will be live.
Indeed, it has been.
And also,
Lit and live.
I'm just going to put in a little plug for supporting theater.
Thank you.
In general, theater right now, where voices can say things that aren't censored. Anyway, Kwamel, your bottom line here, Mr. Poet.
Yo, I want to make this point though, because this close knit community is like Gia and Lynn are part of a massive legacy, and it's important. I want Gia to know this, that we don't let legends like yourself, because you are now your own legend, or your father, get reduced to being a one-hit wonder, because as you mentioned, a fat catalog full of many things that we needed to know. And I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to know you, Lynn, your daughter Kitty, your sister Tuesday. I'm glad to know all y'all, because y'all make us possible. Y'all make us possible, and y'all make us proud, because we heard y'all blaze New York. So on that note, I thank you for your time. Dominique, I'm going to see you soon. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Kwamel.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, Aries.
Right, Aries, just like my pop.
And happy birthday to all of the Aries's.
That's
out
right.
Right, baby. Fire.
Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology.com, 2 T's, 1 R.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how to spell bluesology, I really can't help you. Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology.com. You can get tickets there. You could also walk up and buy them,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Or you could go to the marktheaterla.wixsite.com. Lots of different ways to get tickets
Indeed.
to the play this weekend and next, and then that's
right.
it.
That's right.
And that's it. Then, you just
We
have
hope
to keep
to
your
be-
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Five
we
opportunities
believe
to
we'll
go.
be touring again very soon.
Yeah. We're
that's-
fielding requests from a lot of different cities across the country.
I can
so,
only imagine.
Yeah. We've been
In other
very
words,
blessed.
don't cry if you don't come, because we might not be back for a minute.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
This is what you asked for. We're trying to deliver, you know what I mean? This is what you ordered, so
Miss
come and get it.
You know what time it is?
Yeah, I think
Nation
I do.
time. Miss Gia, would you grace us with a poem of your own?
Yes, ma'am. I'd be happy to. This is actually a piece my dad got to hear before he passed. I opened for him in November of 2010 at Yoshi's in Northern California in Jack London Square. If you know, you know. And he really enjoyed it. And it goes a little something like this. Hope you guys enjoy it as well. My pop's Gil Scott is hotter than a heister trying to sell you a laptop with the serial number scratched off. He's hot like touching a stovetop with no mitten. Hot like y'all too young to cook, but y'all still in the kitchen trying to see what grandmama and them fixin'. So hot you can't resist, and he's like 100 degrees in a black SUV with the windows rolled up and stuck and no working AC. Forget the jacuzzi, girl. He's hot like pure steam. And me? I'm so hot, even my lyrics sweat. I'm so hot, I got thoughts burning on the back burner that I ain't even thought of yet. Like Nikki Giovanni, I'm so hot, even my errors are correct. I'm so hot, I don't even need spell check. I'm hot like a grenade that's missing its clip. Hotter than a bomb that ticks. Hotter than buttermilk biscuits. I'm hotter than a teenager's armpits when they're getting their first kiss. I'm hotter than HD TV. I'm hotter than July. I'm hotter than your thighs after your mama done hit you with that switch like 55 times. And my daddy and me together? We be hot like Death Valley in the middle of the summer with a wool sweater on. No hat, no sunblock, no water, and no visor. I keep the mercury rising. And it's not surprising to find that scientists ran a few more tests and found out that I may actually be the cause of global warming. My bad. My bad, y'all. I know it's been hard out there. And I recycle, but I ain't cutting back on my lyrical emissions because to unify, educate, and mobilize is my mission. I'm hot because I work hard to spit like the bluest of flame. My father won't be the only reason you remember my name. I'm hot because I make the devil quake and shiver in his boots. I'm hot because as a poetess, it's my duty and my privilege to speak the truth. Prove it if you think you could get me to stop, but don't do it if you think it might be a lost cause, because I might burn right through you like a laser through tissue. And you won't even be able to sue because I done already warned you that I'm hot. I should come with a warning label that says sip with caution and handle with care. The disclaimer's been made. This artist and her pops have been known to be hot.
Oh, yes. Yes. Fire!
Thank you.
You're listening to KBLA.
You're part of the tribe now. You didn't
yes,
shake your
yes,
girl. You're
yes.
one of us.
I'm one of them.
Yes.
I'm a bluesologist.
That's right.
Continuing the conversation when we come forward. Kind of hot on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At Providence, health equity is the foundation of our community health initiatives, ensuring care reaches those who need it most. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in America. African Americans face a higher risk of life-threatening issues like hypertension, the number one cause of stroke. 55% of Black adults have high blood pressure. The good news is 80% of heart disease is preventable with healthy lifestyle changes and patient-centered care provided by the Providence Heart and Vascular Institute. From routine screenings to advanced procedures, Providence provides comprehensive care for the heart conditions that overly impact our community by ensuring patients receive treatments tailored to their needs. Let's stop the trend of being 30% more likely to die from heart-related problems. Take charge of your heart health with world-class cardiologists who deliver the compassionate care you deserve. Visit providence.org/SoCalHeart. That's providence.org/SoCalHeart to request an appointment.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Yes, indeed. It is Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology. If you haven't been paying attention, that's at the Mark Theater, 5144 Lancashire Boulevard, road trip to North Hollywood. That's what I was thinking. April 12th, 13th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. That means, come on, let's go. We're about to do this. Gia Scott-Heron, the poetess, is in the studio with me, as is Lynn Connor, actor, producer, and much, much more. And we have a couple people on the phone. I'm going to try to squeeze them in before we run out of time. It's Victor. Could it be Victor Orlando? Hey! Good morning, Victor.
Good morning.
It is Victor Orlando. I know that voice. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We love you.
How are you? We love you all also. I'm honored to be in your presence again, Dominique. Wow, we got to stop meeting like this.
So, yeah, it's great to see you again, even though it's virtually. But tell me what trouble you're making with this show.
All the best kind, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I
was so honored. I mean, I grew up listening to this music. Gil, Last Poets, Watch Prophets, listening to it because the messages were cool, but the congas in it were driving. The percussion was driving these words. And I'm like, yeah, that is so cool. Even when it wasn't cool, when people weren't listening to it on my mainstream of people that I'm like, no, I'm listening to Elton John, I listen to Alice Cooper, and I listen to Gil Scott-Heron. I listen to everybody because there's music, there's something in all of it. So I didn't limit myself to what I listened to, and then to see they were doing this and asked me, to come and audition, and I was like, did I get the part? After
You know what? You're so silly.
I was like, get out of here. So, yeah, I came on and tried to put some icing on top of this cake that's been baked, which is, I called it at the meeting we had, I said, this is one of the most explosive pieces of entertainment and work that I've been involved in years. It made me quiet. It makes me sit up as I'm playing and just lose it because the words are that powerful. And I couldn't help it. I mean, I'm sitting right on stage with it. So, and then I'm watching the audience. The audience is losing their minds, and I'm like, it's just a marriage made on stage.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like
we're so glad you're a part of it.
Sounds like a magical marriage made on stage.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and he's part of the magic.
I see. Yeah,
he sets it off.
They
when
have
he
me opening it up. I'm opening it up, Dominique. People walk in, and the first thing they see is my big face. And I start.
And your big drums,
sparkling, baby.
And my drums, and my sparkles. I have to have some sparkles somewhere.
Bling bling.
But Lynn helps get everybody in that audience on track with me as I open it up and get us ready and ready and ready. I got them playing percussion while I'm playing to one of my songs on the screen from my album, and they love it. The people are like, they love it.
Yeah.
And then the show, and then comes the explosion.
Yeah.
I just like the fuse, but then comes the explosion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what play has a percussion section and a bass player? Well, I guess some of the big production.
Yeah, they'll have orchestral stuff, accompaniment. But no, we got our own fire and our own sizzle and our own musicality that we bring to it. I just love how everyone has made my dad's work their own while still maintaining what's important within the message, what's contained within the music, but I appreciate how they've individualized it and really, taken it and made it a part of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not the only music in it. Artist plays guitar, and
that's
it's
and
so
Yao
sweet,
Watts,
and it's nicely done in the play. And we play together, and then Yao is playing djembe, and we're making musical notes and melodies up there on drums. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you guys are a partnership up there, feeding off of each other. It's a beautiful
thing.
Yes, it is so
it's emotional. Beautiful. People reminisce.
Yeah,
they remember.
They get nostalgic. They get emotional.
Takes people back.
Yeah.
I imagine there's some folks probably being brought by their parents or grandparents that are also discering Gil Scott-Heron for the first time.
We have had some young people. Yeah.
And the kids go,
and they
"Ooh,
dig
that's
it.
rap."
Yeah. Roots of, yes.
Or they'll remember, they'll be like, oh my God, I think, Common sampled that, or the game sampled that. Some of their favorite rappers got their ideas or some of their musical accompaniment from my dad. It's like, go figure,
Yeah, that's... Lynn, you mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, and I think you did too, Gia Scott-Heron, about discovering nuggets and jewels that were then added to the play along the way. Can you think of something about Gil Scott-Heron? And this question can go to you too, Victor, that you've discovered during this process that really moved you or was important to you?
Well, we really focus on hearing his words. And one of my favorites is I'm New Here, done by the Oracle. She brings so much light. I'm new here. And also when you do home is where the hatred is.
Yeah. And the way Lorenzo comes in with your daddy loves you right after
Daddy
that.
loves you. So the nuggets are, you understand the material a lot more, or you discover like, wow, I may not have known what that meant, but now it has so much more meaning, and it hits in a different place.
It hits different, and it recontextualizes it for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we make people laugh. We make people cry. We make them laugh again to just bring more levity to it. But yeah, we bring a fresh perspective on some of my dad's most iconic pieces from 1970 to 2010.
Right. They're timeless. I mean, even Kendrick Lamar said the revolution will not be televised. It's like renewed when these words are so relevant even today.
Right. But there's almost a point where it's like something becomes so iconic that people lose track of its roots. I think people say the revolution will not be televised, and they might not even know about Gil Scott-Heron,
right?
Which is crazy.
There's so many people who have no idea my dad coined that phrase.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully, your work
we're remedying that.
Yeah, that's right. Will be a piece of that. Well, time flies when you're on the radio. Great to hear from you, Victor, and congratulations to you guys on this show. It sounds amazing. Can't wait to see it, hear it, feel it. We got about 30 seconds. You want to take us home, Gia Scott-Heron?
Well, thank you so much for having us on your platform. Thank you for letting us in your house. We can't wait to let you in our house and celebrate Daddy with you when you come to our show. Please come also, if anyone's free tonight looking for something to do, we're going to be at the Greenway Court Theater on Fairfax, and it's part of LA Get Down, a month-long celebration of National Poetry Month. It's my Daddy's Month, y'all. Get into it.
Yay!
Yes, that's
Thank
excellent.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And look, Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology, 2 T's, 1 R.
That's right.
.com.
Get it right.
Get it right, because it won't come up on the internet.
And the website gives you photos and background and bios and calendar of events that's coming up. And you can buy tickets. Get your tickets. They're going fast.
Gil Scott-Heron Bluesology.com, y'all. Get them fingers to typing.
That's right. The Best of Tavis Smiley is up next. He's got some highlights from the week that was. I will see you guys on social media. I'm at DiPrima Radio everywhere. We are at KBLA 1580 everywhere. And we always like to stay in conversation with you. The revolution will not be televised, but hopefully it will be on the radio. Like my mama used to say, history is now, and we're making it together. Until next time, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump described a deadly helicopter crash in New York City as terrible. 6 people, including a visiting family from Spain and the pilot, died when the helicopter plunged into the Hudson River. The bodies of 3 children and 3 adults were pulled from the water. New York City officials, including several black officials, are protesting Mayor Eric Adams' order allowing ICE offices at Rikers Island, claiming it violates anti-deportation laws. More than